the debate here in cosy Westminster, with tea and muffins down the stairs and the Christmas lights coming on. So let us hear from a Palestinian friend of mine who emailed me a few days ago. Clashes are daily occurrences now in Jerusalem. A week ago, things were about to calm down when a Palestinian bus driver was tortured and hanged in his bus. It instigated a lot of anger, which mounted after the Israelis suggested that the man committed suicide, although Palestinian doctors who examined him produced evidence of torture on his body. As you may guess, the doctor who produced this evidence was summoned to questioning by the Shabak. A day after the incident, two men committed a terrible act of killing 4 Jews in a synagogue where the incident took place. Unfortunately, many Palestinians do not see a difference between civilians and militants in Jerusalem. They've started to consider even those who incite the killings as fair targets, even if they're civilians. And now, on a daily basis, you hear about incidents of stabbings and lynchings all over the city. The Palestinians in Jerusalem are feeling hopeless. And since the torture and murder of the young boy Abu Khder in the summer, clashes have not stopped. More than 1,000 Palestinians in Jerusalem have been arrested in the past 4 months. Houses, especially in Silwan, are being captured by settler groups. Family houses of Palestinians taking part in any of the stabbing or killing incidents are being demolished or will be demolished. Israeli officials and Israeli police officials have given public orders to their men to execute any Palestinian who is involved in any incident on the spot. This situation will only escalate. I've never seen this amount of fear and despair among Palestinians in Jerusalem before. The economic situation is on the low, the settlement movement is escalating, the attacks on Al-Aqsa Mosque are on the rise, and no one sees any hope. So I'm afraid that this will lead to the escalation of desperate acts, and more citizens will be seeking vengeance on their own and as they see fit. This is a man who's living it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's a living hell. We talk about the horror, rightly, of Gaza, on which the Israelis have now imposed a total blockade. So after killing 2,000 people and demolishing huge amounts, they are not permitting any real rebuilding going on. In the West Bank, we pay too little attention to what is going on in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, but that is a living hell for the people who dwell there and want to live peaceful, decent lives. We are doing nothing about it. We get cliches from the government, we get minor condemnations, but nothing is being done. Barack Obama, who could have done something, who could have backed up John Kerry when he really made a proper effort to bring peace about, Barack Obama sat in the background. This government... Yes, of course I'll give way.
I'm grateful, and he's making an excellent, as always, contribution. But does the lesson of history tell us anything when George Bush Sr. applied economic sanctions in 1990? That actually led to some progress at Madrid and at Oslo.
My honourable friend is absolutely right. You can't appeal to the Israelis' better nature because they don't have one. But if you threaten them financially, then £10 billion of loan guarantees withheld by George Bush Sr., and they scuttled off to Madrid. It's only sanctions. It's only an arms embargo. The anticipation of a two-state solution, which of course we all support as a cliche, is bogus, because there will not be a two-state solution. The Israelis have got the 4th largest military forces in the war and in the world, and nuclear weapons, and they believe they can get away with anything. But they better take a look. They better take a look at how the Berlin Wall fell. They better take a look about how apartheid in South Africa crumbled overnight. They better take a look at how peace was brought about in Ireland. They do not have time on their side. There are now more Palestinians than Israeli Jews.
Thank you, Mr. Pritchard, for your chairmanship, and thank you also to the honourable gentleman for bringing forward